Hi, I'm back. Sounds like I hear Ted keeping up a lot of noise out there. Goes dog. Looks like they pulled the truck around and are trying to help her get that TV, which she went on Craigslist and I think she found a free TV set. You know, so Ted, I hear him talking about it's not his first rodeo trying to lift something on the truck. So, you know, I think his competitiveness has something to do with the medical problem called Diogenes. It makes you hoard, it makes you combative, it makes you have poor decision making. And it was only discovered in 1966. But more on that later. You know, as a matter of fact, we'll do a whole show on that. This one is more, I want to follow up on what we were saying about who's the best candidate. Now, I hate politics as far as, and I know you do too, and this isn't about politics. It's about who's spending our tax dollars properly. And who knows other than the way we're affected now when the legislature makes decisions that say you're going to be fined because you got laid off and can't put your house in order the way they see that your neighborhood ideally would want it to be. You know, and mainly if they're talking about or you can't pay your utilities. You know, when they start touching on things that we are out of our control, I'd say that's a law that's unconstitutional because it sort of puts us in a debtor's prison because they're in control of the jobs ultimately. Who gets to spend the purse? They do. We don't necessarily have control after we pay taxes, but once it goes into the purse, we sure aren't the ones doling it out. So, you know, that little game they play with whether or not you're going to be employed or unemployed and how bad they're going to make you feel about it has a lot to do with the powers to be deciding how they're going to spend your tax dollars, what they want to do with it in order to make sure they stay in as rich as possible and to hell with you, basically. So back to cooking. Oh yeah, I love this little cup here. I found it at not a garage sale, but one of the little secondhand shops I go to and visit. And as far as recycling, I wanted to tell you about. Now, I know you've heard of recycling plastic, recycling cans. I always save these coffee cans. We drink coffee, and they come in so handy. Like here, I use this one. Oh, how about that? There's rice in there. And, you know, what's in here? Oh, it's still a coffee can. One day, it may be recycled to become something else. This one here, flour. Well, I think I'm using another one, hopefully, for flour, because we need flour for our dough. And yes, I've got the bag of flour in there. So these cans have come out, have been very useful for me to recycle them into putting my little, you know, flour and all that good stuff. So, I broke my you know, my thing. My measuring cup. I've got this plastic one, but I use it pretty much only for water. Dipping the hot water out, which the hot water is boiling. We're not going to need hot water for this recipe, but as I said, since my hot water heater has gone kaput, I'm using that. Now that just happens to be pretty much the measurement that I'm going to need. Maybe just a tad bit more. I'll get a cup. One of my little, again, plastic cups that I've recycled. I'm really big on recycling containers because they come in so handy. Now that's about give or take a cup, and I could use another cup of flour, and I'm just going to get it out. And it generally takes, for dough, takes about 2 to 3 cups of flour, depending on how big of a thing you're going to make. So I'm going to do a pizza that's a large pizza, and if the first one comes out okay, I might even make 2 of them. So I'm going to make enough dough in case, you know, we have company and I need to make another one. But that's the size of what we're going to use for the dough. And like I said, it just takes basically flour and oil, the same as you would do for pie crust. Only in the case of this one, this here concoction of dough, I would have preferred to do the warm water and yeast and let it rise, and maybe the next time around I will. But I'm going to see if we can't